Hey there, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So we're here tonight to do an episode of new Prog albums, and we are going to be visiting this album here. Yes's Aurora. Sorry, I just want to get it here so you can see it. Yeah, there it is. Yes's Aurora. So this is their most recent studio album, released only a few days ago, and we're going to be talking about it here. The other thing about this album, and I haven't opened it yet, as you noticed, because I bought it this afternoon, but I've listened to it a couple times now online. Went to the record store today to purchase it specifically. Was also there to get Armored Saint, but they had sold that one out, so I bought a couple of other things, of course, because that's the way it is, right? Anyways, we're here to talk about Aurora. So Aurora was released June the 12th, 2026, so just a couple days ago. It's about 59 minutes and 28 seconds in length with the bonus tracks on there. Without the bonus tracks, it's just a little over 50 minutes. It was produced by Steve Howe and is on the Inside Out label, also with Sony as well. So I believe there is a total of 8 tracks, or am I wrong here? 9 tracks in total on the album, including 10 tracks in total on the album, including the 2 bonus tracks. So the list of what the band's played and what the members have played on the album, I'm going to give you a little bit of that. Some of it's a little bit lengthy, so I will give everybody but Steve Howe, because he's got like 15 to 20 lines worth of stuff here, mostly guitars, but we'll talk about that. So we have John Davidson, who is the primary lead vocalist in the band. He also does other vocals and duo vocals, and he also plays electric rhythm guitar on at least one track, organ, piano, acoustic rhythm guitar, and acoustic guitar on one other track, as well as some synthesizers. So he's doing a fair bit. We have Steve Howe, of course. Everybody knows Steve Howe is the guitar player for Yes, the last kind of classical member of the band, since they have no original members left. And he gives a list here. It's about 20 lines long, mostly guitars, like 95% of it is different types of guitars he's playing on different instruments. He does also play some mandolin. Well, I guess that's a type of guitar as well. He also plays auto harp, some harmonica. He does do some vocals, both harmony and duo vocals. In addition, he does some keyboards, some synthesizers, and he actually plays a washboard at one point on one of the tracks. So not sure what that's all about. So those are the first 2. Then we also have Jeff Downs playing some synthesizers, playing some chorus organ, some verse piano organ, some piano, some mellotron, some string synthesizers, and some lead synthesizers as well. So he's playing quite a bit here. In addition to him, we have Billy Sherwood on bass guitar. He also does some vocals, some duo vocals as well. Additional electric guitar on a couple of tracks as well. And then Jay Shellinen on the drums. And then you also have the Chechnya, or the Czech, I guess it's Czechia now, National Symphony Orchestra. They do play on a couple of tracks. One of the tracks pretty predominantly on. So that is the list of people and who's doing what on the album. In addition to that, Roger Dean, of course, does do the cover, as he has on their last couple and most of the Yes albums throughout their history. This one's a pretty good cover by comparison to some of the others, as you can see. It looks like a river with an island and stuff going on there. The back part of the album is just your typical back part of the album. I will be doing when I do the new albums purchase, or my album hauls at the end of the month, this will be one of the albums I'm going to be featuring. Of course, I've got 3 or 4 new ones this month, so it's going to be an interesting month for that. So anyways, other than that, we have the 9 tracks. So this album I've listened to in its entirety. So a few albums ago on the Quest, I liked the first track a lot. And then there was 2 or 3 other tracks that weren't too bad right near the beginning. And then it just kind of turned into elevator music. And I wouldn't say I disliked the album. I was just disappointed. I expected more from them. Then the last album I thought was quite okay. It was good. I liked it. There were some tracks on there that I thought were pretty good. It didn't have the big song like Quest had. Quest had that one opening track. And then this album just had a lot of much better overall sounding tracks. This one is better than both of them. It has some of that milder stuff that you had on the previous 2 albums, but it has some real bitey stuff on it too, which is what I was hoping for. And maybe the recent John Anderson album, True, kind of motivated them to go a little bit more in that direction. I don't know. Anyways, a total of 8 regular tracks plus 2 bonus tracks on the album. Quite a bit of different guitar sounds throughout the album, dominating. Actually, I think Steve Howe was much all over this album, really. You have quite a bit of keyboard and synthesizer stuff, maybe not as much as you would hope. And you know, it's always been the case with Jeff Downes since Drama. Drama was the only one where he was all over that. The other albums he just seemed to not push as much on. So there's a little bit of that. The drumming was good. This is the first official album without Alan White on it for some time. And I thought Jay was pretty decent on here. The bass was pretty predominant at times as well. John's vocals were all over the album and quite good. There was a couple of songs that he wasn't singing or wasn't as predominant in the singing on that I thought were a little different. I didn't hear any of that Steve Howe stuff too much, which is good because Steve, as fantastic a guitar player is, should give up singing. So next up, we're going to break the songs down a little bit. Nice. This is a really nice looking album. So next up, we have the opening track, which is the title track, which is the way it should be right at the title at the beginning. Aurora is the name of the song. It starts with a nice piano intro, really good, and some orchestral parts here. So they're kind of setting a tone here. Moves into a full range sound as it expands outward. Really good. That's typically what you want from Yes. The vocals, of course, are John's, so they're very high range, very John Anderson-like. They don't sound, to me, I clearly hear that he doesn't sound like John Anderson, but he is not far off either. The drums and the bass are creating some interesting rhythm parts throughout this track as well. And it's a bit of a slow melodic track, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I was a little bit anticipating that this could be another full album of that, and I wasn't really keen on that. But I tried to give it a full listen before I made up any opinions about it. So the next track out, which is just almost about 6 minutes in length, Turnaround Situation is the name of the song. Nice organ keyboard opening. It actually, in fact, might have been a Mellotron. I think I may have wrote organ by accident here. The vocals are typical of John. Nothing unusual here. Some background vocals on this as well. A little bit deeper, of course. A little bit of an up-tempo song with some keyboard intro or edifices mixed in there with it. A nice up-tempo song with, I said that already. Some piano here as well. There is some a little bit more direct guitar parts in here as well. A mellow song with some up-tempo beats. That's kind of how I see it. I did like the guitar parts quite a bit here, especially the acoustic guitar part towards the back end. I thought it was really well done. And I'm just going to move this up here because I'm reading on an angle, so I'm not getting what I want. and that's what's making it difficult. So the next track out is called Love Lies Dreaming here. Song's a little bit close to 6.5 in the length. Some flute-like organ sounds here. I'm not really sure what that is. I've heard this before, but for some reason I didn't get what it was the first time. It's mixed in there with some acoustic guitar sounds as well. You got drums and piano providing some of the kind of background, give it some depth to the song. Overall, a very instrumentally strong album, very clear sounding. The production on the album is fantastic, really. Vocals by John, very forward, typical of John's voice. The song has some up-tempo feel to it at times as well. Not as concise as the previous track, so it kind of meanders a little bit. This song, it's not terrible. It's not, by no means is it all over the place, but it does meander a little bit more than the first two tracks. The next one is probably the first song that I really kind of like quite a bit, and that's Counter Movement, and it's got 4 parts to it: Tarot, Anytime Soon, Blinking of an Eye, and Freedom's Edge. I kind of lump them all together. It's kind of like a story. Nice mellow part that opens with some whining, kind of windy guitar parts here. Sounds like a second guitar in the background. I think it's more of a slide guitar sound. It does pick up and become a little bit more menacing as it goes along, and driven this menacing part a little bit driven by the bass, I think. The piano is pretty predominant with some nice acoustic guitar parts. Guitar parts. Sorry, a little tongue-tied there. Anyways, they tend to seem to like to mix those two together, the acoustic guitar and the piano. The vocals are, it kind of, it crescendos out. So it's moving along and crescendos out. Then you get a voice part by John, and then it kind of comes back to where it was. And there's another vocal part here, and it's a husky voice. I'm assuming that it's Billy Sherwood. Doesn't really sound like Steve Howe, although it could be. I didn't look on the credits here to figure out who it was. It could be Steve Howe, but it doesn't really sound like him. It sounds more like a different voice. Much huskier, much more medium sounding, more in the normal range, but also predominant in the song. There's some multi-vocal parts here too, quite a bit of stuff going on. Another up-tempo sound continues on, and then it kind of, you get this kind of acoustic guitar part that takes over, and there's a little bit of a time period in the song where it kind of has that Caribbean feel and sound to it. There's no drum like Caribbean drums or anything like that here. It just kind of reminds me of the Caribbean. If they'd add those in there, for sure it would have sounded like it. Just a lot of multi-vocal parts that are both in the high range like John and in the low range like whoever the other person is. Okay, the next song. So once we flip over and we do these last 4 tracks and then the 2 bonuses, album gets much better from the back half on, in my opinion. And I think it's a lot to do with our changing direction here. So the first half of the album, you've got this kind of similar style to Mirror in the Sky, with a little bit of maybe The Quest in there as well. More mellow with some heavy parts, but not overly. And then it kind of goes up quite a bit here with these last tracks. So the next one's called Ariande. I think that's how you pronounce it. Very operatic, very operatic opening with some very strong synthesizer and symphonic sounds throughout this track. Some nice keyboard parts mingled in here. So the operatic part's very dominant, and then you have the other instruments by the band members in and out, and they're not so predominant as they are on the other tracks. The drums and the guitar part come in at times as well. The vocals are by John, and he's doing this with some keyboard sounds behind him. You got some nice heavy guitar and guitar and keyboard parts here as well. There's a part where there's some violins that are very strong and forward as well. Yeah, just a very multi-instrumental track overall. Quite good, actually. I liked it. It was just over 6 minutes in length as well. Then we get to the shortest song on the album, which is 3 minutes. It's called All Hand on Deck. This was written by Steve Howe. I remember seeing this thinking, okay, this might be in a classical acoustic thing that he used to do before. I was so far wrong from that. I couldn't believe it. So you have this very heavy guitar riff tone. Is very bitey. Like, it's not something you hear a lot from Steve Howe. So that's why I stood up and noticed it right away. Very up-tempo, heavy rhythm section here. It's got a little bit of a quiet moment. Then it just gets to its riffs again. The vocals are more aggressive, deeper, but some high parts in the background. And you got some nice keyboard mellotron part that dominates in that part as well. This is a very strong song. I like that. It's easily my favorite track on the album. I wish it was a little bit longer, but that's fine. It's still a really good song. It may be one of the best songs they have done this decade, in my opinion. Next up, we have Outside the Box. This is a two-parter. Lights and Outbox is the name of the two suites. Maybe the next best song on the album, next to All Hands on Deck. This one's a little bit longer, about 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes in length. The vocal noises and interludes that open. You've got some strong acoustic guitar parts here, really strong. Catchy, mellow vocal sounds. Basically, they're harmony, I don't know what you call them, doo-wop type things going on here, although it's not really a doo-wop thing, but I can't think of the proper term for it. There's a burst of bass and synthesizers and keyboard sounds, which I think are really cool. This is a strong song. I wish they did more of like they did of these two songs on the album. Would have been even better than it already was. Next is a little over 3.5 minutes in length. Emotional Intelligence is the name of it. As is a synthesizer piano intro with John's very high voice on this song, singing, kind of accompanying these two instruments. The vocals is extremely clear on this particular track too. This is more of a pastoral nature track definitely a pastoral type track. Some nice guitar parts on this. I think Steve Howe is on his game on this album. So this was it's probably the weakest of the 4 backside tracks. Then you get the 2 bonuses. In my opinion, they probably could have done without these 2 bonuses, but they like to throw them on. A lot of bands do that now. Nice. So the next one's called Jam Busting. First of the 2 bonuses, about 2.5 minutes. The other one's about 2.5 minutes, a little longer, but a little bit longer than 2.5 minutes. So this one, Jam Busting, nice up-tempo keyboard with some drum-driven track. John's on the vocals here. Catchy rhythm sounds. Does drop a bit as the synthesizers kind of take over a little bit, and it jumps back upward. So it goes down a little bit, then comes back up. So there's like a crescendo part to it. Probably the weakest track of all the tracks on the album, though. Next up is Watching the River Roll. Not terribly strong. Probably could have done without this one, too. A nice acoustic guitar part. Got a little bit of a country-ish feel to it, really. Vocals, John, and a deeper voice part, so it's a twinning vocal. I think the other vocals by Billy Sherman here. Nice combo. They seem to fit together well. A nice mellow but catchy track. Again, guitar part is a little catchy. Keyboards are there basically for support. And you got a little bit of a mellotron sound and other keyboards type stuff going on as well. So not a bad track, but they could have easily just cut the 2 bonus tracks off and I wouldn't have missed them. But overall, I thought it was a strong album for them. Probably their strongest of the 3 they've done in recent years. And for me, personally, I think go back to Fly From Here. was kind of the last album that I liked by them quite a bit. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that there were some tracks from the drama days in there as well, which helped that album quite a bit. This one doesn't have that, but I think it's, in the last, I'm going to say then, if you're going back 15, 16 years to find an album as good as this one, and maybe not even that one is as good. You might have to go back to the 90s to get one that really kind of sets up for this. So they've gone on a bit of an upward trajectory over the last 3 albums. So The Quest was, to me, barely passable, and Mirror to the Sky was good. I would say good to like a level 2. And then this one probably is going to come out as a level 1. It might even become more than that, but definitely going to be a level 1. So the trajectory is more like this. So they're moving in the right direction. I'm hoping that they're moving in that more heavy direction, because Yes, when it's heavy and bitey, is much better than Yes as a mellow Pink Floyd sound to it. Anyways,